'Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Yes, we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
What's up, Dolphins? The Dolphins fall 30-17 to the Green Bay Packers, and we have nothing to be thankful for. You know, when the Dolphins were playing a Thanksgiving game in the snow against an NFC team that plays every Thanksgiving, maybe, or actually the Packers don't play every Thanksgiving, that's the Lions. Maybe, you could have had some miracle like you did against the Cowboys all those years ago. Leon Lett, but no, they don't even come close to a miracle. And I've seen a lot of Dolphins fans on Twitter after this game saying the narratives are dead that Tua can't play well in the cold. I will admit, he played very well in this game. But at the end of the day, we lost. He only put up 17 points. He put up 3 points in the first half. It wasn't good enough. And that might not be entirely Tua's fault. I'm not blaming this game on Tua. I'm not blaming this game on the offense, and I'm not blaming this game on coaching. I'm not blaming it on anyone specifically. It was an all-around failure of a test. You had this test to see, A, can you win in cold weather? You couldn't. B, can you win against a good team? You are now 1-15 in your last 16 games against teams with winning records at the time you play them. This isn't good enough. I keep saying this. The Dolphins, as currently constructed, are just not a good enough team. They can beat up on these weaker opponents like they did to the Rams, like they did to the Raiders, like they did to the Patriots. And they're probably going to do to the Jets. But when it comes to the tougher opponents, they can't. They can't do it. And something is going to have to change in the offseason for this team. Unless by some miracle you squeak into the playoffs and make a deep run, which I don't see happening. But, I will be one of the happiest people on earth if we can make a deep run. But, like I said, don't see it happening. Something's going to have to change in the offseason, both financially speaking and just how this team plays. You're going to have to get rid of one of Tua, Tyreek, or Waddle, more than likely, financially speaking. And honestly, you need to do that just to reallocate some of the monetary investment in this team to balance the talent gap between the offense and the defense. I know we only put up 17 points in this game, but hear me out. The Dolphins are spending way more on offense than they do on defense, and there are plenty of teams that do this. But we have left nothing for the defense. We have given them scraps. And the offense doesn't matter if you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Tua. They can't keep up with a defense that just can't stop anyone because there's no talent on it because we can't afford it. So something's going to have to drastically change for this team in the offseason. We're going to have to see what happens, but you still have the rest of the season to play out. They're not eliminated yet. It's going to be a very, very tough road if they are going to make it. You have another really tough game later in the season against the Texans. That's going to be on the road. Luckily, you don't have to worry about weather in that. You're going to have... I can't really say the 49ers game is a difficult one at this point. There's nobody left on that team. You're going to have to play the Jets twice. I know they're not a good team. They are one of the worst teams in the league, but it's still divisional games. And you got to play in Cleveland. Again, not a great team, weather-wise, and you guys also got one of the Jets games in New York, so that's another weather factor. So, if you win out, if you make the playoffs, make a deep run, maybe you can prove that you're different. But this was the first big test for the Dolphins with Tua this season, besides Buffalo. But it was the biggest test, and they failed again. So we're going to have to see what happens. Blessed be, fins up.